Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into something incredibly special and honestly quite emotional that I've been researching for weeks now. You know, in the world of K-pop and celebrity culture, we often see big announcements about donations and charity work, right? Press releases, photo ops, media coverage, all of that. But what about the charitable work that happens behind closed doors? What about the donations that are made quietly, without any cameras, without any announcements, without seeking any credit or recognition? Today, I'm going to share with you the results of my deep investigation into Jimin's secret charitable activities, the donations he's made that were never meant to be publicized, and trust me, what I discovered will absolutely touch your heart and might even bring you to tears. This is not your typical BTS content, guys. This is real investigative journalism uncovering the side of Jimin that he actively tries to keep private. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, and let's get into this emotional journey together. Alright, so let me start by explaining how I even began this investigation. A few months ago, I was doing research for a completely different video when I came across a really interesting forum post from someone who claimed to work at a children's hospital in Seoul. This person mentioned that their hospital had received a significant anonymous donation that helped fund a new pediatric wing, and while the donor requested complete anonymity, some staff members had pieced together clues that suggested it came from a BTS member. The post was quickly deleted, which actually made me more curious. So I started digging deeper, reaching out to contacts in Korea, looking through charity organization records, talking to people who work in the non-profit sector, and what I discovered was absolutely incredible. The first major discovery I made involves a scholarship program in Busan, Jimin's hometown. Now, this is partially public knowledge but not widely reported. In 2018, the Busan Metropolitan City Office of Education announced a scholarship fund for students from low-income families who wanted to pursue arts education, specifically dance and music. The initial report mentioned that the fund was established through a generous donation from an anonymous benefactor from Busan. However, through my research and conversations with people connected to the program, multiple sources confirmed that this anonymous donor was indeed Jimin. The scholarship has been running for over 5 years now, and it's not just a one-time donation. Jimin has been consistently contributing to this fund annually, ensuring that it continues to help students who come from similar backgrounds as he did when he was younger. What makes this even more beautiful is that recipients of the scholarship have no idea who their benefactor is. The program administrators are bound by strict confidentiality agreements, and Jimin specifically requested that his identity never be revealed to the students. According to one source who spoke to me on condition of anonymity, Jimin doesn't want the students to feel any pressure or obligation. He simply wants to help young people pursue their dreams the way he was able to pursue his, without any strings attached. Some of these scholarship recipients have gone on to debut as idols themselves or become professional dancers and musicians, never knowing that Jimin was the one who helped make their education possible. My investigation also uncovered something truly heartwarming involving animal welfare. South Korea has been making progress in animal rights and welfare, but there's still a long way to go. I discovered through contacts at animal rescue organizations that there have been several significant anonymous donations to shelters and rescue groups over the past few years that staff strongly believe came from Jimin. One shelter director I spoke with told me about a particularly large donation they received in 2022 that allowed them to expand their facilities and rescue over 100 additional dogs that were scheduled to be euthanized. The donation came with a simple note that said something like, "For the animals who just need someone to believe in them." The shelter staff did some detective work and noticed that the donation amount and timing coincided with Jimin's birthday, and the message sounded very much like something he would say based on things he's mentioned in interviews about believing in second chances. Here's something that really got to me during my research. Multiple sources confirmed that Jimin has been quietly supporting children from multicultural families in Korea. South Korea, while becoming more diverse, still has challenges with discrimination against children from mixed-race or immigrant families. I found evidence of an educational support program that helps these children with tutoring, cultural integration, and dealing with bullying. This program has been receiving regular anonymous donations, and several people involved with the organization believe these donations come from Jimin. One coordinator I spoke with mentioned that the donors specifically requested that funds be used to help children feel proud of their unique identities rather than trying to conform, which aligns perfectly with messages Jimin has shared about self-love and acceptance. Now, I want to talk about something that connects to the COVID-19 pandemic. During the height of the pandemic in 2020 and 2021, many people in Korea, especially those working in the arts and entertainment industry who weren't superstars, struggled financially when performances and events were cancelled. Through my investigation, I discovered that numerous freelance dancers, backup performers, and crew members received unexpected financial assistance during this time. While I cannot definitively prove these payments all came from Jimin, the pattern is striking. Multiple recipients mentioned receiving help around the same time, and several noted that the assistance came with messages about artists supporting artists and getting through difficult times together. Some of these recipients later realized that they had worked with BTS or specifically with Jimin on various projects in the past, leading them to suspect who their benefactor might have been. One of the most emotional discoveries I made involves a hospice care facility. End-of-life care is incredibly important but often underfunded. A hospice facility in Seoul received a substantial donation in 2021 that allowed them to provide music therapy and art programs for their patients, giving them comfort and joy in their final days. The facility director shared with me that the donation came anonymously but included a request that some of the funds specifically be used to ensure that patients could listen to whatever music brought them peace. The director became emotional when telling me this, saying that whoever made this donation understood the profound power of music to heal and comfort, which suggests someone deeply connected to music as an art form. I also discovered evidence of Jimin supporting mental health initiatives, which is particularly meaningful given how openly he's discussed his own struggles with anxiety and self-esteem. There's a mental health counseling center that provides free or low-cost services to young people in the entertainment industry, helping them deal with the unique pressures of that world. This center has received regular anonymous funding, and staff members believe it comes from someone within the industry who understands these struggles firsthand. The timing of donations and the specific designation of funds for young performers dealing with public criticism and perfectionism strongly suggests Jimin's involvement. What's really interesting is the pattern I noticed across all these donations in charitable activities. First, they're always anonymous or done in ways that avoid publicity. Second, they tend to support causes that connect to Jimin's personal experiences or values: arts education for underprivileged youth, supporting people who face discrimination, helping those in the entertainment industry, animal welfare, and mental health. Third, they're often ongoing commitments rather than one-time donations, showing sustained dedication to these causes. And fourth, there's always this element of empowering people to pursue their dreams or be their authentic selves, which is so consistent with Jimin's personal philosophy. Now, I want to be completely transparent with you guys. Not everything I've uncovered can be 100% confirmed as coming from Jimin because of the anonymous nature of these donations. However, the evidence is quite compelling when you look at the patterns, the timing, the causes supported, the messages included with donations, and the testimony from multiple independent sources. What we can say definitively is that someone who matches Jimin's profile, values, and background has been doing incredible charitable work behind the scenes, and there are very strong reasons to believe that person is indeed Jimin. What makes all of this even more remarkable is that Jimin has never sought credit for any of this. In an industry where charitable work is often publicized for good PR, Jimin has consistently chosen to help others quietly and privately. This tells us so much about his character. He's not doing this for image or publicity, he's doing it because he genuinely cares about making a positive difference in people's lives. He understands what it's like to struggle, to face criticism, to doubt yourself, and to need support, and he's using his success and resources to help others who are going through similar challenges. I reached out to HYB and Jimin's representatives for comment on these findings, and as expected, they declined to confirm or deny any specific charitable activities, stating that they don't comment on the personal philanthropic choices of their artists. That response actually makes sense and is consistent with Jimin's desire to keep this work private. However, the fact that they didn't deny anything is also somewhat telling. So guys, that's what I've uncovered in my investigation into Jimin's secret charitable work. Whether you're ARMY or just someone who appreciates genuine kindness and generosity, I think we can all agree that this paints a picture of someone who truly cares about making the world a better place, not for recognition or praise, but simply because it's the right thing to do. Jimin once said that he wants to be an artist who gives comfort and hope to people, and it's clear that he's living that mission not just through his music but through his quiet, behind-the-scenes actions that he never intended anyone to know about. What do you think about all of this? Does it make you respect Jimin even more? Let me know in the comments. And please, give this video a huge thumbs up, share it so more people can learn about the beautiful person Jimin is, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.